So America, and I'm basically in the same boat as Kaylee. It's really hard. I couldn't imagine after I recover that I will forget how it feels, but it's happening because now I'm out for like, let's say it's gonna be like 4 years or something like that. And I don't remember how it felt. I know some of my symptoms. I know I was diagnosed with OCD, hypochondria. I had a lot of digestive issues. I had panic attacks all day long, all night long, a lot of heart symptoms, a lot of head related symptoms, a lot of like just sensations all over the body, like shakes and pinches and needles and burning and cold, a lot of things. And these are the symptoms we talk about. And then we also have symptoms that we didn't dislike as much, so we don't talk about them. So when someone mentions, "Oh, I had this," did ever anyone had that? Yeah, yeah, I had that, but I didn't dislike it, so I didn't even mention it because there was tons of them, right? But now I don't really remember anymore how it felt. Just know, like, and I know that at my worst, I couldn't leave not just my apartment. I couldn't leave my living room. My anxiety just got me to like being okay in just one room. That didn't mean I didn't have symptoms there, but it was just the most bearable. My anxiety was the least irritated there, and even like going to a toilet was like I took like in 30 minutes just hyping myself up to be able
Yeah.
to go pee. So I it got that bad. And to be honest, I had it easier in a way that when I fell in, I found you pretty quickly. So I didn't have just a book. I had videos. There weren't many of them, but I already kind of knew what to expect a little bit. So it made it easier for me that, even though there was no mentorship back then, I had videos and I knew at least something. So for me, like responding to the physical stuff, learning that, it was pretty quick. It took like, say, 2 to 4 months to really get like consistent with it. After 2 months, I was able to do it finally. I'm like, oh, this is it. This is how I really need to. How does it feel to let it be and not resist? 2 more months to get consistent. But the biggest work for me was dealing with my emotions, learning to respond to my emotions the right way, and the thoughts, because I felt like my head was totally against me. So that was the bulk of the work, honestly. And if I would talk like full recovery, like no symptoms, normal living, year and a half, easily.
Mhm.
But I think that once I started working also on the mental part and the emotional part, I was really living with anxiety and I was not limited. I was not scared anymore. I knew it's going to happen. I didn't know when, but I knew it will. So I would say, again, like Kaylee said, it wasn't like for her like 2 years of struggle. And for me, it wasn't a year and a half of struggle. It was maybe first like 4 or 5 months of struggle. And after that, the rest, it was just living and being consistent and keeping like correcting myself.
Mhm.
That was it. So yeah, it takes longer than people think because you have to learn to respond to things because things in your life will be happening. And I learned that I was stressing myself out, that I was creating a lot of pressure, stress, and anxiety, not just with big things, but with the smallest things in the past. And I had to learn not to do that. Like if I was here, like me 6 years ago, for example, like remember the first day we were walking a lot, Caesar's watch said like 17,000 steps or something like that. And I got the bloody blisters because I just picked the wrong shoes for such too much walking. And if it was me like 6 years ago, you would hear it today. You would still hear like I was so stupid. I picked the wrong shoes. Now I have blisters. I can't go anywhere. This sucks. Why did I make a better decision? I would do that. And what I did this time, I was like, hey, do we have some band-aids? Let's go.
Yeah.
And I was doing this really even with the smallest things in my life. And then I realized there was a lot of resistance in it. Just like Haley, sometimes I took too much, but then I was resisting the fact that I took too much and it was hard. Or sometimes I slacked, I was slacking, I didn't do much, and then I was hating myself for not doing much. I was always resisting whatever was the current situation. And it's the resistance that kind of tells my brain, like, because what you're resisting, if not danger, why would you resist anything that's okay?
Mhm.
And I realized that, you call it secondary benefit, which for anyone that comes in and they just want to get better, they are deep in the cycle. Yes, it's a secondary benefit. But in the end, you see, this is the must. This is a lesson that your brain and body are trying to teach you. They are screaming for help. Once you fall into cycle and you have all these symptoms, that's your brain and your body screaming for help. It's like you're abusing me and
Yeah.
you need to open your eyes and do something about it.